Did you know you can create a beautiful Nutcracker soap dispenser with a mason jar and some air-dried clay? Get ready to add a touch of magic to your holiday decor with this enchanting Nutcracker soap dispenser for your kitchen or bathroom. In this video, I'll guide you through the process with step-by-step, easy follow-along instruction. Hello, my crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc. And if you're ready, let's make a mess. The first thing I did was wipe off the jar with alcohol to remove any dirt or fingerprints. Then I gave it a coat of Polyvine multi-surface lacquer. This is a great primer for any shiny surface. I let that dry overnight. I mixed some tan paint with white to get a very pale tan. I'm painting the entire jar with this color. I used a brush on the top of the jar to be able to get into some tight spots. I'm making sure not to get paint on the threads of the jar. I'm going to be using this for a soap dispenser, and the threads need to be free of paint so the top will screw on properly. I'm using a sponge to paint the rest of the jar, which will create some texture. Now I'm putting a darker tan at the top and bottom of the jar. I'm using a sponge and blending it back and forth with the lighter tan until there is no line and just a blur between the colors. If you want to see a tutorial on exactly how to paint ombre, click the banner at the top right corner. I'll also leave a link for that video in my description box below. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. It's fun to see what cities and countries you are all watching from. I'm filming from Las Vegas, Nevada, in the United States. I'm using some DOS air-dry clay to make a large nutcracker and some small tree ornaments. I'm adding the clay to the mold and trimming off the excess. Then I'll put it in the freezer for at least 20 minutes. The freezer makes the clay hard so it unmolds easily without breaking off tiny parts. If you want to see a video on how to work with clay and some helpful tips and tricks, click the banner at the top right corner. I'll also leave you a link for this video in my description box below. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from decoupagenapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. One nutcracker fresh out of the freezer. Watch how easily this will pop out of that mold. It's really stiff because it's frozen. The paint on my jar is dry. I added Polyvine heavy duty wood varnish in a satin finish and let that dry for an hour. I'm placing my jar on a cup cradle so it doesn't roll around while I'm working on it. I'll make sure to leave you a link for that. I'm adding tacky glue to the back of the nutcracker while the clay is still wet, and then I'll lay him on the jar in the center front. When adding clay to a curved surface, it needs to be wet. Once the clay starts to dry, you won't be able to conform it to the jar. I'm pressing the clay down around all the edges very delicately so I don't destroy any of the mold's details. If any glue oozes out from under the clay, I get it right away with a damp paintbrush. Now I'm going to add all the little ornaments randomly, but leaving room for a chain on each one of them. decoupagenapkins.com has such a great selection of napkins that you can purchase one at a time. They carry many other craft supplies such as rice paper, paint, clay, molds, and a great selection of Polyvine products. Over 8,000 products and growing. They are wonderful to work with and will send your order out fast. They offer several automatic discounts when checking out. Subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address and you'll receive 10% off your next order. They are truly your one-stop shop for craft supplies. Make sure you check them out. I'll be leaving links for all the products I use in my description box below. There's a little bit of a gap here and there between the clay and the jar. I'm going to fill in any gaps I see with some pre-mixed tile grout. It's super easy to apply. I'm adding the grout and then smoothing it with a damp brush. I put the brush in water and then tap it on a paper towel to remove most of the water. Then brush over the grout lightly to smooth it. I test all the products that I recommend in my videos. I won't recommend anything that I haven't used myself and prefer. If I'm recommending it, you can bet it's a great product. Each product will be listed in my description box below and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. Now I'm going to paint the Nutcracker and all my little ornaments. Here are the colors I used for the Nutcracker. Natural Buff for the face, Paint Art paint in red for the jacket, dark blue for the pants, black for the hat, shoes, and gloves, white for the hair, beard, mustache, and eyebrows, off-white for the shirt, and gold for all the trim. I'm sure you guys have noticed that I use a lot of Dixie Belle and Paint Art paints. These are my absolute favorites. They both go on super smooth and creamy with really good coverage. I rarely, if ever, need a second coat of Paint Art, and that goes for the metallic colors as well. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And why not share this with a friend? Thanks for doing that. There are still a few more weeks left until Christmas, so I'm still going to be doing holiday projects. My last post before Christmas will be December 22nd. That's 3 more holiday projects for this year. You're going to want to subscribe so you don't miss any of them. Here are the colors for the ornaments. Cobalt blue. Paint Art colors are turquoise blue, vintage green, leaf green, pine green, country blue, rose, mallow, and compact powder. I painted the tops of each ornament with the gold paint. I'm going to be adding some really pretty gold chain to the tops of each one of them. I'm using Polyvine Heavy Duty Wood Varnish in the satin finish to give the entire jar a shiny finish. Don't let the name fool you. This product is great for so many other surfaces that have been painted or decoupaged. It's moisture and heat resistant, as well as food safe and UV resistant. It's my go-to for varnishes. I also use this product for decoupage adhesive. Works like a charm. I gave the jar 2 coats to get a really nice shine. The more coats you add, the deeper the shine becomes. I waited 1 hour between the coats. Time for some antiquing. This is one of my favorite things to do on a project. I'm going to use Paint Art Antique Paste in the color Umber to give this jar some dimension. I'm using a brush to add this to all the crevices between the clay and the jar, as well as on the Nutcracker and all the little ornament. I'm brushing it on and then wiping it off with a soft, dry cloth right away. It will wipe off the high surface and stay in all the cracks and crevices. The only reason I can wipe this off is because of the shiny varnish. If you don't varnish first, the antique will grab onto the paint and you won't be able to wipe any of it off. Antiquing makes the object appear more 3D and less flat by creating shadows. It also defines all the detail from your molds. The antique paste is solvent-based, so you'll need to clean your brush with a solvent, such as turpentine or mineral spirits. I have a dedicated brush for this because you are pushing the antique into the cracks and it can ruin your brush, so use an old one. Now I'm going to add some shimmery highlights to all the ornaments. I'm using some metallic wax rubs. I'm putting a little bit on my finger and rubbing my finger and thumb together to avoid putting a big glob on there. Then I'm lightly rubbing it over all the little ornaments. I'm using the following colors: rose gold, white pearl, firebird, mint sparkle, old silver, sweet rose, blue lagoon, and my new favorite redesigned decor wax in the color Eternal. Let the Eternal dry for about 30 minutes and then you can buff it into a brilliant shine. It's such a gorgeous gold. I'm going to use this tacky glue pen with a fine tip to add some chain for the ornaments to hang from. I'm adding a line of glue from the top of each ornament to the top of the jar. This gold ball chain is so delicate, it's just beautiful. This glue pen is pretty cool. It makes a nice thin line. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, decoupagenapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. If I get a little too much glue, I'm just wiping it off with a pointed Q-tip. I like this glue pen for doing detail work. It worked really well. I'm assembling the soap dispenser pump. They're really easy to put together. Put the gasket in the lid, then add the white screw on the bottom and the pump on the top and screw them together. I just think this Nutcracker is going to look so beautiful in either the kitchen or bathroom. I'm going to tie some gold and red cord around the neck of the jar, so it looks like all the little ornaments are hanging from the cord. When I cut something that will unravel, I put a dot of hot glue on the edge and then twirl it in my fingers. You won't see it and it will keep your cord from unraveling. If you're enjoying watching Christmas ornaments and projects, I have created a playlist just for you. Click the picture on the bottom right to be taken directly to that playlist. I'm so happy you were here with me today, and thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all next week. I'm working on a new project with you in mind. You can subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner.